I am so proud of myself. I used to panic and be like, "Oh my God, help me." Now I know what happens or what I need to do whenever my microphone's not working. So check one, check two. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Jeff. Let me pull up the chat. Hold on. Um, yeah. So I guess it's the return of Nighthawk, right? Jeff. Jeff's on there talking about how he's going running after he grills chicken. After this, he's getting out there, and I am with you. This is insanity. Like, how did this happen? One of our students said to me today, like, how did it just go from like cold and like normal weather to all of a sudden it's in the 90s? It's insane. Let me drag this over here because I want to make sure I see the chat. Mm, Okay, there we go. Um, Happy Monday, Manic Monday. Thank you for your patience with me. Nancy is so good. I was getting ready to walk out of school today and she's like 7 o'clock, right? So I knew you would be here, Nancy. And she was already texting me at like 7:00 whenever I was late. And so sometimes like literally, I know you guys can relate to this. I will be just moving around doing all the things. And all of a sudden I was like, oh my God, I have literally 6 minutes to get on the live. But anyway, made it happen, made it here. Here we are. I hope you guys had a great Monday. It was boiling here. It was 94, 96 degrees, something like that. And yes, right now it is 86. Feels a little bit better out there. So this would still be a good time to go. Yeah, like I feel like if you're not going to get up early and go, that nighttime is where it's at. And I can't believe we're at this point already because usually I feel like we have this cushion, like this window of like this beautiful weather, but it's literally like insane. Daisha, I'm so proud of you. She's at the park walking now. I love it. I had the best walk yesterday. Yes, Sunday. I think I posted it. I'm trying to do better. And it was so like refreshing and life-giving. And I love how, and I know you guys are kind of in this place too, Nancy. I love that you sent me the message and you put in the post too about how you had gotten out there and you were doing your intervals and you did it for I think a 5K or just about a 5K and how amazing you felt. Like that is literally what I feel like we were chasing. Like that it was even like invigorating to me to see you say that about like how good you feel. And I'm like, that's it. Like that's why we do this. That's why we're together. That's why we are still going out there, even when it's hot, because that feeling that comes after just feels so, so good. And it was just such a great reminder of like, this is why we do this. This is why we get out there. And yesterday, I was just not feeling myself. You guys have been there, done that, I'm sure. And I just walked and I had no plan for how far I would go, how long I would go. I was just going to walk until I felt better. And I told you guys I've done this so many times, especially with running. Now I do some walking sprinkled in just because of, my knee sometimes yelling at me. And it's so nice to do that. I don't know if you've done that, in a while or ever, but just the idea of going out. I've had friends in the past who have gone by just minutes. Like I'm just going to go out there for this long, never knowing how far they're going, which is so wild to me. But I love the idea of just going and seeing like, how do I feel? Like I'm just going to keep going or I'm done. And I was out there for just walking. I think it was like 45 minutes. I didn't look at the time, but it was super just like chill. And I took the dog with me and it was just so good. And I love that I'm allowing myself more of those moments versus, having to grind. And there are times for that. And there is a time too, when you're feeling it and you want to be in that place. And I think everybody ebbs and flows into that place sometimes, but I would just like, it was always hard for me to give myself permission to not be in that place of like white knuckling it. Like you got to do this or it doesn't count, but it felt so good. And I just love that. I'm kind of embracing that part. Nancy said it felt crazy good. Yes, like that is it. Like I'm so glad you sent me that message too. Like if you journal, I know you keep your calendar, Nancy, and you check off your boxes, but like write that down. Like write that down while it's fresh in your mind because that's what we need to get ourselves out there and to remind us like this does feel so good and this is why I do it and this is why I show up. And it inspires me too, like for whenever the whole idea was, Nancy was kind of pushing herself to try to get out and complete some, pick up where she left off, which we've all, again, been there, picking up where you left off, just thinking like, I'm going to, dive right back in. But like, And I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Nancy, but like you were giving yourself permission to do these intervals that felt right for you, that felt good for you. And you picked a distance, but maybe you weren't putting so much pressure on yourself. Just like, okay, this feels comfortable, so I'm going to stick with this. And it ended up feeling amazing versus like, I have to, grind it out, or I have to do this or it doesn't count. And I love, love, love that so much. Um, I Yeah, me too, and that's okay, and instead of mostly walking, yeah, that's okay. It's like the season you're in, but you're also doing weights and things like that, and God, Lord knows, lives are so complicated. Like, life is hard, really, like, life is hard. There are so many things that we experience, and Daisha is always good. I don't know if you're listening, Daisha, but she's really always good at reminding me, like, as I, think about often talk to her about things that are going on like in my life, and she talks about her life, that kind of thing, but like just reminding me of like, well, no wonder certain things feel hard, no wonder your body feels tired, no wonder it's taken like, extra motivation. Like, it's so hard to take that into account, but it is everything. Like, everything we're experiencing weighs on us. It weighs on us emotionally, and sometimes we pretend like it doesn't. Sometimes we try to just say like, oh, you need to push hard, you need to grind, you need to do more, and just like reflect a little bit on what's going on in your life, and remember that all of that is taking energy from you. Like, it's taking emotional energy, it's taking physical energy, mental energy, and all of that really matters. And I've not been good about that. I'm still not good about that at this point, but like I feel like, things have happened that remind me that without taking that time, like, it's going to take itself, right? Like, if we don't make that time for ourselves, if we don't make that space for ourselves and honor the things that we're going through and experiencing, if we don't honor that and allow ourselves to go slow when we need to go slow, and to pull back when we need to pull back, like, life is going to do that for you. Like, things are going to happen where you all of a sudden don't have a choice. And at that point, it's kind of like gone pretty far, if that makes sense. Like, life's going to slap you in the face, and it's going to make you slow down in some way, shape, or form, mentally, emotionally, or physically. Like, it's going to make you slow down and take that time, and that's not the way that we want to do it. Like, if we could just be a little bit more proactive and allowing ourselves to give ourselves space to heal, and to work through the things that we're experiencing, and giving ourselves grace in that way, I think that that's like the ticket. That is the ticket to our whole being, right? I was thinking about the topics I wanted to talk about tonight, and all of these things that I'm sharing are coming from a place of just like recent experience and things that, I feel like I have gone through in the past couple of weeks. And I wanted to talk about struggle. And I put in the title or the caption or whatever, the struggle is real. And I wanted to talk about how like struggle is necessary, and it's so good. And it's really hard to, I feel like these are two different, like, I'm literally saying don't struggle, but I'm also saying to struggle. So, two separate things. Like, giving yourself grace and recognizing why you're struggling is one thing, right? Like, recognizing like, here are all the things that are kind of up against you. But then knowing that like, while we're going through these things and while we are struggling and with whatever this, I mean, this definitely applies to physically struggling when it comes to running, or to struggling with something maybe you're hanging on to emotionally, or, something that's been weighing on you mentally. You've had anxiety about it, things like that. Like struggling grows us like nothing else. Like, I know. So as I was preparing for like, okay, I want to talk about struggle because there have been conversations in my life that I have talked through this a lot about what does it mean to struggle, and does it identify you, and like how, like, just talking about the benefits of what comes out from struggle. So I'm not going to lie, I was Googling and trying to put into words exactly like what it is about struggling that is so good for us, because I know that it's good. I know that it creates growth. And I will share a personal experience that, and I've talked about this a little bit, and I don't like to make it all about this because I just even hate the topic of it, but about weight and about food and the struggle that I constantly have my whole life with food and weight, and having a healthy relationship and that kind of thing. And I've shared it a little bit on the lives periodically over the past couple of weeks, and things that I've tried doing, and I'm still on that journey. Well, full disclosure, I know that GLP-1s are hot right now. Like, they're like, it seems like, and you guys probably feel like this too, or maybe you are, personally partaking, which this is not a judgment conversation. I have actually done that. I've did it for several months because I get into these places where I feel out of control, like with my body and eating and things like that. And I panic. And because I have a difficult relationship between, weight and value and those kinds of things. And I know that I'm not alone in this, which is why I'm sharing this. But I've done it and it's great. I mean, literally, I felt like it was great because I didn't feel hungry. Okay. I don't, good, bad, or indifferent. This is just like factual. I didn't feel hungry. And I did it for a few months. And then I was like, kind of thinking, like, what am I doing? Like, I was kind of like, what? So I'm obviously numbing a part of myself. And I was starting to feel like, I don't want to do this forever. Like, yeah, this is great and this is working. But I didn't want that to be a part of my life indefinitely. Well, one, it's just a little scary to me. Like, and I know their whole, the research and all of that. And I'm not here to say whether it's good or bad. I'm just telling me personally, I didn't want that to be something that I did indefinitely. But I knew when I stopped that I would struggle again, that I would fall back into the patterns and I would struggle. And so I said to myself, and this was, gosh, at this point, it's probably been like 6 months or whatever. So it was just a very short period of time that I had taken it. And I decided no, I need to figure this out. Like I need to figure this out. And it has been like the ultimate struggle. It has been the ultimate struggle for me. This is like lifelong struggle. It's all relative though, right? Like this conversation can be about anything, but I just wanted to share like the preface of where I'm coming from in this regard. So fast forward to me stopping taking it, of course, like instantly my hunger comes back, duh. And I find myself spiraling back into that place for, probably even more so because now it's, coming off of this medication. And it's so tempting. It's so tempting to me even now just to go like, okay, I'm doing it again because I'm so like, again, I have so much work to do in this regard, but like tying my value to my weight and how I feel and just really struggling with that. And I decided I am not, I have to figure this out. And so I have struggled with it for, I mean, honestly, probably about 30 pounds ago was where I started. And I consistently, keep climbing and having to have these conversations with me of like myself of like, okay, like this is not, first of all, it does not define you. Second of all, like you have to go through this and figure out like what is causing these certain things, what is causing you to use food in this way, to heal emotionally. And I think for a long time I used running as kind of like a tool to counteract what I would do as far as like emotionally eating or, anxiously eating, whatever. And so anyway, it's a struggle and I keep kind of like, I'll go through these like resets because obviously I have not figured it out. I feel like I'm getting close to becoming more like, aware and feeling like I understand why and when and what's going on with my body and just more aware of like how my body feels and things that I'm eating, that kind of thing. But I did not want it to be like, okay, like I'm going to go like on a restrictive diet and like none of that works for me. I've been there, done that a million times over. Like I'm 42 years old. Like I'm so sick of it. I'm so sick of all of it. And so just really trying to figure this out. And it's been so long since I've had to kind of work through this. And as I keep struggling and this struggling keeps happening, and I would say it's one of those things where it's like each week, at some point it becomes like a failure or such. And like, oh, well, I wasn't able to maintain blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, that's not working for me. And resetting and recalibrating and allowing myself, like, instead of like restricting myself, like allowing myself like the room to do I don't want this to become just a conversation about like dieting per se, but like the struggle has been so good. It has been so good with teaching me so much about myself. So every time I struggle, whether it's with running or whether it's with, trying to figure out, a healthy relationship with food and things like that, like you are learning something every time you're struggling. You are learning something every time you're failing. And it's not just a matter of like, I failed or like, well, what is it that's going on for you? What is it? What are you expecting of yourself? And I would venture to say most of the time when we are quote unquote failing, I bet it's because we're setting ourselves up for failure. Like what the expectations that we're creating for ourselves, right? Like I talk about this a lot during our 1 week challenge. Like those people who go out there and are like, okay, I'm going to do 7 days a week, or I'm going to do double. I've had people, you guys have heard me say this. I've had runners say like, I'm going to do 2 workouts. I'm going to double each workout. So that gives me 6 days of working out. Like, yeah, that sounds fantastic. But most of the time it's going to end up in a fail because the expectations you're setting up for yourself, they don't work. Like they're not realistic. And that's the same for everything. So I encourage you to reflect on something that you feel like you're failing at right now, like something you feel like you're not doing well or you're struggling with. And it doesn't have to be food and doesn't have to be running, but What is it that you're struggling with? And then ask yourself, what am I actually expecting of myself? Like, what would I consider to be success in this situation? And then be realistic about it. Like, where you were, and where you are going or expecting yourself to go. Like, how many times have we said, oh, I haven't run in many, many weeks. So I'm just going to, bust out, this week I'm going to bust it out. I'm going to do, 3 5Ks, and I'm going to walk 5 miles because I feel like I want to get caught up or whatever. And then it's like, well, you're literally setting yourself up to fail. And then, oh, I don't follow through. Oh, I didn't, get all my workouts in this week, because like really that's unrealistic expectations. Like, look at where you are and be realistic about where you want to go. And that's part of the whole like being gentle on yourself. But you can learn that through failure, as long as you reflect on that failure and say, like, okay, what does this mean about me? And your failure can literally be a part of your success story. And that, my friends, is what keeps me going, as far as not just like throwing in the towel and being like, forget it, give me all the GLPs, because it's important to me that I figure this out. And the thing that keeps me going is I say to Mike all the time, I'm like, I am going to figure this out. I am going to figure this out. And all of this, I'm going to write about all of this. I'm going to share about all of this, all of the failures and all the things that I did that did not help me along the way, because I will figure it out. And I think that what I learned from that might be able to help other people. But I have to go through this. I have to figure it out. I have to gain all the weight. My clothes have to not fit. I have to stand there. I have to try on 7 outfits before I find one that fits appropriately. And I have to do this because I need to feel what this feels like. And I need to like really do the work to help myself get to the other side. And I don't let myself get stuck in the whole like, oh, well, I'm a failure. Like, no, something I'm doing is not working, but there are other things for me to try. There are reflections for me to have. There are changes for me to make. And that kind of excites me. And I want you to kind of reflect on that in regards to whatever it is that you feel like you are failing at. And then ask yourself, okay, why? What is it that I am setting myself up for? And what is more doable and more realistic that gives myself more grace to just grow from where I am versus where I'm trying to hurry up and get to, because I want to hurry up and be this person? Like, you don't get to be that person like that. You just don't. And to be honest, you don't really want to be, because if you don't go through the process, if you don't have the failures, then you don't have the growth, and it doesn't even feel good. And that's to me what I was doing with medication. And before I did that, I was on medication for ADHD, which was Adderall, which naturally curbed your appetite. So I never felt hungry during that time either. But I got to a point where I was like, I don't want this medication either. And so again, my own personal journey, and there's no judgments tied to any of it, but just something that I wanted to figure out for me. And so like just asking yourself, okay, what is causing me to fail, right? Like, what is it that I feel like I'm struggling with? And then how can I look at this week and then think about what are my next steps? Not, I'm going to hurry up and be this person I want to be. I'm going to be the person who's running 5 miles every weekend. So I'm going to hurry up. I'm going to do it next week, and then I'm going to feel good about it. That is not sustainable. It will not work. So like, what is it that you can change this week to start making it more realistic and doable and just improving a little bit? So I have this conversation with students all the time about, we're in testing season right now, and testing season can be very emotional for kids, unfortunately, and they can struggle in certain ways. And it can become like something that starts to define them, right? They can start to think like, oh, well, I'm not smart, or, oh, like I'm not good enough at this. And I just have these conversations, which I think are so powerful and so necessary, about like, hold on, because you one day are going to get past this. You're going to not give up and to keep trying, and just look for improvement versus trying to get yourself to a place where you're not ready to be yet. Look for that improvement. And then when you are standing on the stage, when you are a grown up, right? And you're giving your TED talk, imagine what you are going to say to everybody else about how you failed and what that felt like. Like, imagine the success story that you're creating right now, right? Imagine yourself as being the person that you want to be, right? Whether it's the person who's running a full marathon, or the person who's running a 10K, or, running a 5K every weekend. Like, imagine that person that you want to be. And then think about where you are. And then imagine telling the story about how this was hard for you, or you had to get yourself, out of this place, or whatever it is. And just literally picture yourself standing on stage and being like, yeah, I've been there, done that. Like, this was really hard for me. And I had to remember that failure was teaching me something, and I was learning from it along the way. And it's so important. And in education, I know that I've got a lot of educators. In education, we call that failure. We call it, gosh, I wrote it down somewhere. That really killed my Productive struggle. It killed my vibe. Productive struggle. That's the place where we consider when kids are productively struggling, like they are learning and growing the most. Like you want them to struggle. You don't want to give them every part of the answer. You want to let them struggle a little bit because there is so much learning that takes place in personal development. Like that all happens from being in that place of struggle. So whatever you are struggling with right now, what are you learning? Are you learning about yourself? Are you learning about other people? Are you learning about how you handle things? Are you learning about like what it is that you want? I would 100% and highly encourage you to reflect on what expectations have you created for yourself that might be a part of why you're actually quote unquote failing. And perhaps you're not failing at all. You're maybe failing at just creating the plan that you need to be successful and not actually at moving towards that goalpost that you're trying to get to be the person that you want to be. So that's my soapbox moment for tonight. Struggle is so good. Okay, I'm going to give you the top 8 things that make struggle so good. All right, you guys, here are the top 8, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because I want you to see this as such a benefit for you. Okay, struggling builds mental muscle. Just like hitting the gym, and overcoming difficulty is the only way to build resilience and emotional strength. Don't forget that. That's literally part of your TED Talk, right? Because I struggled, this is what I did. Like speaking to one student in particular who was, testing has been hard. Like pretty much the whole time they've done testing has been hard. And having to retake tests because if you fall within a certain window, then you get to retake it. Yay. And then you get to try to pass. And this student in particular has done this for years, right? Like, oh, I'm used to failing and then retaking it. And we had a huge conversation about like, wow, do you know most adults are afraid to try new things because they are afraid of failure? Like how many things do adults not try because they are afraid to fail? And like, honestly, when we fail, we become experts at failing, right? And as long as we don't allow ourselves to just throw in the towel and quit, like imagine the growth that takes place from failing and then showing up again and failing and showing up again and failing and showing up again. Like you teach yourself that I'm not afraid to fail. I'm going to try to do this again. And you realize like what a gift that is. That's what I'm saying. Like what a gift it is to be able to struggle or to fail and then to try again and to get back on the horse and try again. Like it's actually like a huge benefit to you. And again, one of the reasons just building mental muscle of like, okay, been there, done that. I'm ready to do it again. Like I'm ready to try again. I know what this feels like. I'm not afraid of it. Like it's going to be okay. It forces innovation. It forces you to come up with some creative ideas. That's where I am. Like I'm literally, when it comes to this whole like figuring out my nutrition and feeling good about myself and feeling good about what I put in my body, I am changing it constantly. I'm having to get creative about like what my body wants, what helps with my body, and it has forced me, because it's been months now, to try so many different things. I'm not talking about like so many diet plans, but to really just reflect in different ways and get kind of creative with like, what's going on for me and, the timing of when I'm having certain feelings and that kind of thing. And so it forces you to say like, okay, let's get creative about this. So good. This is the kind of, this one is called the price of admission. And I was talking about this a little bit ago about how like, it wouldn't feel good if you could snap your fingers and just be that person that you want to be. Oh my gosh, to miss out on that entire experience of starting where you are and growing and changing each step along the way. Like it would not even feel so good. It would not even feel so good. I remember watching this soccer YouTube video with Jocelyn when she was first learning to play soccer, and it was all these soccer drills. And I loved that the coach in the video literally said like, yeah, so you're going to try these. And if you're new to soccer, you're not going to be able to do them. And well, you haven't earned it yet. So why would you be able to do it? Like these people have been practicing for, many, many years to be able to, hone this skill. And so if you are new to this and you get frustrated, like you should get frustrated because you haven't paid the price of admission, which is all of those times of being out here, getting your foot on the ball, or for us, right? Like running those miles and getting through, those workouts and things like that, the price of admission. It unlocks self-discovery. You learn something about yourself every time you struggle or every time you fail. If you tune in, it will not be wasted. Your struggle, your challenges will not be wasted if you allow yourself to tune in to what is going on for you. Like, how are you feeling? What is going on in your life? What additional stressors are taking place? If you use that as an opportunity in your struggle to say, what's going on with me? It will not be wasted. You will grow and you will learn about yourself. You will notice patterns. You will notice what it is in your life. Maybe you might even notice, if we're talking about running, like certain seasons that are more challenging for you because of maybe the weather, maybe the schedule, maybe the additional stress that you have during that time. The more you pay attention to that, the more you will learn about yourself. And there's nothing of higher value than knowing and understanding your own self. Okay. Um, it creates a resilience bank. Okay, that one's kind of like the mental muscle to me. Deepens empathy. Oh, yes, this one's so good. And this is why I say, like, when you're standing on your TED Talk stage, right? When you're standing on stage and giving your TED Talk, that building empathy, just knowing what it feels like to be in that position, knowing what it feels like to being in that place, and being able to share that with other people, being able to say, like, hey, I've been there. And everyone listening to this, you guys have done this before. If you are listening to this and you have helped somebody in some way before, they have watched you on your journey, I know you guys have talked to other people about it, and being able to share that experience, like, it is so, so powerful. And to know what other people are probably going through who might be in a similar journey. So good. Okay. It filters your priorities. Yes. Promotes neuroplasticity. We want to go with our the scientific evolution of our brains. Your brain learns best when it's challenged. Productive struggle is literally the moment your brain starts to grow and it starts to connect those neural pathways. And it's so good. So the struggle is real, but the struggle is good. And don't let it be for naught. When you're struggling, if you feel like you're failing, if you feel like things are hard, please remind yourself that, like, there's so much good happening because of that. Let me get this out of my way. There's so much good happening because of that. So reflect on that this week, you guys. Reflect on it. What has been hard? What am I expecting of myself? Please check in on your own expectations for yourself. Please check in on what it is that you are expecting yourself to do, and ask yourself, am I setting myself up for success, or am I trying to jump past, the first 7 levels of the game and get to the end, right? Like, what about those stages in the middle? Because I guarantee if you prep yourself for the next stage from where you are, you will be ready to get there, and you will, be successful with flying colors. You will be past with flying. I don't know. You'll be ready. You'll be ready for that stage. Do not try to jump past those stages, and just ease yourself into this. There is no rush. You guys, think about how we've been here so many times. We have been in this place. We've been in, how many Junes have we had when it was like, okay, I'm going to start running. Okay, it's getting hot. And, like, I really want to do this, have this goal in the fall. Like, how many times we're going to be here again? We're going to be here again. Like, there is no point in trying to rush through and bust through all these things. Like, life is happening. The best thing you can do is just slow down. Don't stress yourself out about this. Take it easy. Slowly work towards your goals. Allow yourself to ease into it. Experience every level of it, and just keep moving forward without the stress and the added cortisol of, I need to hurry up and get here. I need to hurry up and do that. I need to hurry up and be at this place. And then when you release that, the pressure of what you think your schedule should look like, what you think your routine should look like, what you think your workouts and goals should look like, when you release that and just say, I'm going to just move my body because it feels good, and then continue to just hit each level, it won't be such a drastic slap in the face of, like, how am I going to make this happen? Like, you're just ready for that next level, and it shouldn't feel so overwhelmingly hard. Like, the intro to my podcast, which I need to record some episodes, was something about, it doesn't have to be complicated. Like, don't overcomplicate this. Don't go on this running journey and start to try to meet goals and overcomplicate it by trying to jump past where you are actually at right now and where you are meant to be and where you should be moving. Don't jump past it. That's part of the journey. It's part of your growth. It's part of, what is it? Price of admission, moving through these stages and allowing yourself to enjoy it and just breathe and just move, and stop setting yourself up for failure. Okay. Struggle is good. Failure is not. Failure is a reflection of a plan that's not fit for you. Okay. That's my soapbox. Okay. Nancy said, I'm going with the flow. So you're already there. You're already there, Nancy. Jeff said, I hit a mental wall lately, but I'm trying to work through it and work on my consistency instead of avoidance. Like, I'm good at. Same. I would say, Jeff, reflect on what you're expecting of yourself as you head into your week. Just think about what you're asking of yourself and goals that you're setting, and maybe bump down those goals and think about where you have been for the past couple of weeks, and then what would the very next level be for you? Not level 10, or not like halfway towards your goal, but what would literally the next level, the one step up from where you are right now, like what would that look like? And see how that feels. Like try that one on for size and see if that's less daunting and overwhelming. And I guarantee you will set yourself up for more success that way, but also giving yourself credit for things that are going on around you and things you're experiencing and giving yourself grace for, maybe what has been causing a little bit of the inconsistency. Because I know we've all been there, done that too. I've said that so many times tonight. All right, you guys, I hope you have an amazing week. I will see you again. Well, is it going to be, wait, this is the 18th. Stop it. It's going to be the last day of May when I see you guys again, Sunday, the 31st. That is the day before my birthday. And I can't wait to hang out with you guys. That is so wild. And don't forget that we are all aiming for a 5K on June 27th. I would love for us to be posting our 5Ks on June 27th, and I'm going to send out the link that weekend for t-shirts. So if you haven't started posting and getting prepped for that, remember it is walking, jogging, a mixture of both, whatever you need to do to move your body. 3.1 miles. It's going to be great. It's going to, build our team spirit, and we're going to do it. It's going to be awesome. All right, you guys, I love you. Have an amazing week, and I will see you on May 31st. Bye, guys.